Mic check. 1, 2, 3. My name is. Great. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for session 2 of the day. My name is Alex Alvarez, Director of Marketing here at Noitom International, and we're going to be talking to you about virtual production using Perception Neuron Studio and our brand new hybrid trackers. So before we begin showing what we're doing with virtual production, I kind of want to walk you through the different tools that we're utilizing for today's shoot. First and foremost, we're using our brand new Perception Neuron Studio kit. This just came on the market this year, so if you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, I do recommend going to our YouTube channel. We have great tutorials, great videos, and showcases of what the capabilities are of this system. For those of you that aren't familiar with what this can do, I'm going to walk through the sensor capabilities. So the sensors come in a Pelican case. That's when you purchase your kit. It all comes nicely packaged here and are stored inside of this charging case, right? You have a base of 17 sensors. What's nice about our Perception Neuron Studio kit is that it is fully dynamic, meaning that you can start with a base suit and then upgrade to gloves and then upgrade to different modules that I'll be explaining soon. The sensors are very small. You can see one here on the screen. Each of these are ID specific, meaning that you'll have one for the head, the hand, the left hand, right hand, body, torso, whatever it is, right? You'll be able to identify what these are. There's an ID in the back that's color-coded to know where these sensors need to be placed. What's different from our other solutions is that now you have the capability to do 5 wireless users at the same time. Fully dynamic, up to 240 frames per second. We also have the ability to add on finger gloves, right? So these gloves now give you full articulation. That's 2 degrees of freedom on the thumb, 1 degree of freedom for the rest of the fingers. The kit itself is $5,999 if you're just getting the base sensors, and if you're going to be adding on the gloves, that's $1,409 USD. Comes out to just about $7,500. What's great about everything is that even though you get this, you do get our software for free, which means you don't have to have any additional cost implemented, unlike other providers. On top of this, we're actually going to be switching what we have online now that you can download to a dongle-based solution. The benefit to this is that you now don't have to worry about whether your things are going to be upgraded or updated. You're going to be notified on your dongle. And we're going to be adding modules. What that means is that we'll have time code enabled that you can purchase. You'll have finger spreading that you can purchase, multi-contact that you'll be able to purchase, as well as hybrid tracking that we're doing here for our virtual production. So I don't want to scare anyone with the fact that I'm saying that you could add these things or purchase them. What's great about this is that you have the flexibility to do so. Same as you can add on the gloves, you can absolutely add on any of these modules at any given point. Now I'm going to talk about our hybrid tracker. Our hybrid tracker is going to be a key point in today's shoot. It's actually what's going to allow us to do the camera tracking, the positional tracking, the accuracy of what we're doing for today. It's so important because as opposed to a traditional optical shoot, that you have to rely on so many different cameras, right? Tens of, I was going to say tens of hundreds, but you don't need tens of hundreds of cameras unless it's a huge volume, right? But you're normally talking about 30 to 40 cameras minimum to just get high accuracy. That means that the cost of your volume is very, very expensive, let alone trying to add on lycra suits for your performers, markers, props, and all the different tracking that you have to do for that. The cost just shoots up exponentially. Let alone, it doesn't actually cover for any occlusion that you would experience during a traditional shoot. Optical is still very, very prominent to having occlusion issues. If there's a camera that does not see your marker, you're going to have occlusion, meaning that you're going to lose data, no tracking, and then you're going to have to clean that up afterwards or redo your shoot. Even though these solutions are very, very expensive, they are not perfect. It's the same thing actually with inertial, right? Inertial is not 100% perfect. You will always have to do some cleanup afterwards, right? But what's nice with our hybrid trackers that I have here, right? These are gonna be the key point for today. This is optical and inertial data inside. It's a first of its kind. No one on the market has this available, and now you can actually purchase this today. If you shoot us an email, we'll be able to contact and work with you to manage the correct solution that you want. What's nice with this is that these markers are also unique in the way that they work. So they're not actually different from the way that you would put them on the body, right? So this same marker works for the head, it works for the camera, it works for your feet and your torso. This same marker works for any type of positional tracking that you want to have accuracy and absolute positioning on. So it's passive tracking with the inertial sensor inside. This data fusion is going inside of our Axis Neuron data software, which now lets you not only track the full body, but also track that optical marker, right? So feel free to shoot us an email. We'll be covering this more as we go along the shoot, but it's a key component for today, and it's super vital in terms of the new ecostructure and system that we're going with Perception Neuron Studio. Now I'm going to be talking about what our performers are actually wearing for today's shoot and what they're going to be showing, right? So I have a head-mounted display here in front of me. I'm actually going to switch over to a separate camera that's going to highlight the head-mounted display that we have, right? So this HMC is actually custom built. We're working on this in-house, and we're working to reduce the cost of these HMCs to actually provide these for you guys to purchase. We know that a lot of these are custom rigged or people don't know which components to purchase. We're trying to reduce the cost and make it as accessible as possible for you guys to now work on your projects without having to worry about what the cost is or not what components you're going to be working for. We realize that this is going to be a vital solution as we're integrating a lot of components, and a lot of our third-party software is actually using the iPhone and different facial tracking solutions. Next, I'm going to be talking about the props that we're using, right? So our performers today are going to be using props. We have some different things combined. So for example, I'm holding here a flashlight that will be part of one of our scenes, and they'll be able to see everything that's going on. You'll be able to see that in real time in our scene the performers are interacting with, as well as different things that are going on. Again, this prop is binded to this flashlight, but we also have it binded, right, to the camera, right? So that real-time movement that's happening, you're going to be able to see visibly in front of you. Real-time tracking, no issues or errors that are going on, which is great. And before I move on to actually the performance itself, I just want to iterate that all of our software is available for free, and from that standpoint, I mean our plugins, our SDKs. You can go to our website now, www.neuronmocap.com/downloads. Go to our website, download the different software that we have, our Axis software, as well as the different plugins. We're actually using our Lifelink Plugin today. That's what's letting us stream inside of our Unreal Engine, and then working with that in real time. And throughout the portion of this performance, we're actually going to cut to our technical director, Alberto, who's going to go a little bit more in depth into what you're seeing today. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and go off screen now. I'm going to go and pick up our camera and kind of walk you guys through what I'm doing. So I'm going to be going over. You guys can still see me. How's everyone doing? This is Alberto, our technical director. He's passing off our camera here. That's great. So you guys kind of see me. How's everyone doing? Great. So what you guys can see now, right, I have this camera, we're using a Teradek stream. I have a rigid body, right? I'm talking about these hybrid markers on top, right? So I have this on top. This is mapped to the camera that I'm holding in front. And with this movement, I'm actually able to be a real director as if I'm holding a real camera. I could plan the shoot. We could talk about blocking. We can stage things with our performers, which we were actually practicing earlier. So again, right, I'm using kind of this mount here. I have my rigid body hybrid marker, right? So the same thing that's happening, right? You can kind of see the different points. There's 4 different markers that are there. And this is the optical component, right? It's giving you that positional data. And inside is the inertial data. So if any of these markers get occluded, that inertial data backs that up, and you're able to now have absolute coverage, right? You don't have to worry about loss of data. You don't have to worry about things jumping around or skipping because you have double the data backed up. Again, a first of its kind, revolutionary for the motion capture industry. So now I'm going to go ahead and walk towards the beginning of my area. Oh, wait, 1 second. As we go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and start setting myself up, right? We planned out a shoot. This is called The Adventures of Pablo y Zorro, or I guess in English we could call it The Adventures of Fox and Kid, 2 Ds for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and position myself here, right? Still moving around. I'm gonna have Ignacio, who's behind me, kind of show you guys what's happening. And you can already see that inside of Unreal, I'm moving the camera, right? I believe we're using an 18 lens. Right here, we're kind of moving around. You kind of see me move the camera back and forth. I can already see my 2 performers moving around, and we're just kind of getting the iPhone adjusted for that facial tracking. And again, this is all happening in real time. We're using our Perception Neuron Studio kits. We have full body tracking, full finger tracking, and facial articulation, which is great. And we'll be highlighting those features a lot more throughout this performance. So what I'm gonna do is set myself up for an establishing shot. I'm not gonna go through a traditional roundup where I'm gonna have my performers start in a T-pose. We're just gonna go ahead and start in the beginning. We're just doing a quick reset. Unreal likes to save sporadically. It looks like things freeze. Don't worry, it happens. It's part of the saving process. So once this is up, we'll go ahead and begin the shoot. So just 1 second on that. Again, we're gonna kind of highlight. I kind of want to show you guys what's happening while this loads up. Right, we have the iPhone for the facial tracking. We have hybrid markers on 3 parts of the body. We have them on the head for the head tracking. Right, absolute positioning there. We have tracking on the hands. Right, left hand, right hand, and then we have them for the props. This is great, and you can actually, you're not limited to the amount of trackers on the body, right? We're gonna sell packages of 5, so you could do, head, left hand, right hand, foot, and foot if you wanna do 5, and then you have the ability to add on 4 other markers for props. And because we have 5 channels that you can work on, each of these performers now has 5 plus 4, which is great. We have 2 camera providers that we're working with. That is OptiTrack. We're in an OptiTrack volume right now, and really soon we're going to be releasing the integration with Qualisys. You know, both providers are really great. We're really fond of their cameras, their solutions, and overall we're trying to benefit you guys, right, the end user. We're trying to reduce the cost of these setups, trying to give you the best accuracy possible, the best setup possible for you guys to start working on your own Mandalorian projects. You know, I'm a fan of the Mandalorian. I'm a fan of Avatar. Everything that James Cameron is doing, and all the different projects that are now using high-end visuals and virtual production solutions. This is the type of tools that we want to enable all of you to work with. So Unreal, it looks like it had crashed, but we're almost back up, and we're going to keep going and working on that. So I'm just going to, again, kind of showcase some of the little different capabilities that we have here. Can you guys turn around for me real quick? Kind of want to show you what we have, right? So when you're using Perception Neuron Studio, you know that you have a base solution that comes with the kit. That's your strap-based system, 17 sensors, to begin with. So you have the 2 for your shoulders, 1 on the upper back. Oh, can you guys just go into a T-pose for me?
Quick calibration.
Oh, we're gonna do a quick calibration. This is great. You guys can see how quick calibration is. That's not a problem. So we're gonna have our 2 performers set up, realign everything, which is not a problem. They're both gonna be standing in the same, in 2 different areas, which is nice. They're gonna be going through 4 different calibration poses. That's gonna be an A pose. It's very quick. Now they're doing a T pose. Now it's a B pose. These are poses for your hand specifically that improve the accuracy. P pose, that's a pinch pose to make sure that your finger touching is accurate and nice as possible. I also talked about the ability to now have on those modules with the dongle that you could pay for, you're gonna be enabling finger spread. That finger spread is gonna be able to do some simple finger separations in case you wanna add those movements. Again, it's not for everyone, but you will have the ability to do that. At your base, you're gonna have, again, those 17 sensors plus the gloves moving around, and then you're gonna add on those nice little key elements and modules that you would want on the body. So we have our cameraman just highlighting some of those sensors. Again, those three, we have those 5 different channels. We're using 2 right now. We're on green and on blue. And then we have 3 additional, so you could add 5 performers in the same environment if you would want. So great, so I'm kind of moving around. I can see that my camera is back. I'm here. I can see that my performers are getting set up. That's great. And I'm sure if they blink or they move side to side, if they're talking, oh great, look at that. That's awesome. So yeah, I want to, again, highlight the characters that we're working with. This is super awesome. We can see how everything looks. Can I get a quick finger movement? Right, so right, we got thumbs up, we got 5 fingers moving around. And so again, you have that ability to now capture finger movement in real time. And actually in the next scene, we're gonna see some really cool features that we're playing around with. And I don't wanna tease that too much because once you see it, I think you guys will be very, very impressed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna position myself at the starting here. We can see, oh, 1 second. I'm just gonna tell our TD, I think Letty's is both characters. Just a quick note, when you guys are setting up your characters in Unreal, you want to make sure that they're named the same as your Axis characters. So we have 2 performers. We have Letty's on the right, which is our character Pablo here, and we have Silvana, which is our fox. So when you have your character set up, you want to make sure that they're named the character who's going to be performing them. So we had Letty's that was both, and that's where we saw her driving both characters. We got to see the facial expressions from both at the same time. So it's just really quick. It'll happen, it'll populate, and we'll see both characters show up quite soon. And we'll begin our scene. Good. Let me make sure, could you move around for me, someone? Let's see the fox. Great. Great, awesome. And one thing I want to mention is obviously our performers are a certain height. They're not the same as one would see in real life, so they're not up to the same dimensions. But that's okay, right? When they are going to be interacting with some of our props and the tools, we'll notice that there is going to be a little bit of a misalignment, but it's something that we could work with afterwards, right? That's not a problem. So Alberto's adjusting the characters for the height and environment. That's great. We have our fox, we have our little boy, and I'm gonna go ahead and set myself up for an establishing shot, right? So I'm gonna get the fox out of frame real quick. Great, and we're gonna start, and I'm gonna call action, and then we're gonna go ahead and begin. So 3, 2, 1, action. Great. Oh, look.
Fox, why are you following me? I'm hungry. I want some lunch. Okay, don't worry. I think I have some food. Do you want to go with me? Sure thing. Let's go. Yeah. Wow. Today is going to be a fun day. We're going to have
and
some fun.
Cut. Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and have my performers reset in the environment that they're in. They could go back to their starting blocks. I think that turned out really well, right? We can obviously go back and do the shot over and over again, right? So what's really nice about virtual production, what's really nice about using these tools, what's really nice about using Axis and Perception Neuron is the ability to record your takes, right? We can do things live or we can do things pre-recorded, meaning that we could have done this take, we could record it, and now we can go back into Unreal and do the shot over and over again. Meaning right now I'm using an 18 and I can go back and use a different lens. I can go in 35 or 55. I could do close-ups, I could do wide shots. It's really, really nice to have the ability and flexibility to do your shots and pick them in real time. And again, we're doing everything live here in our studio. So anything that you see, right, from the engine crashing to anything that's happening, right, these are things that you're gonna experience during a shoot, but you do have the ability to pick this back up, do it any way that you want to, and we can do our shots from time to time, which is great. So I'm gonna have our performers do this one more time, and I'm actually gonna have Nacho, do you wanna choose a different lens?
Let's do 24.
Right.
Let's do a 24.
Right, so we're gonna see actually our lens change as our technical director changes. That's awesome, right? So now we're at a 24, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and position myself to have more of a little bit right here. That's perfect, right? So now we have a different shot, a little bit closer, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and begin, and I'm gonna call action again, and we're gonna see our performers start and do that take again. So 3, 2, 1, action.
Wow, qué lindo día. Wow, so beautiful. Fox, why are you following me? I'm hungry. I want some lunch. It's okay. I think I have some food. Do you want to go with me? Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Oh, today is going to be a wonderful day. We're going to have so much fun.
And cut. Thank you so much. So we got to see that live, right? We got to see 2 takes, 2 different lenses, the ability to record everything, right? Again, we're doing this live, and so if we're doing a performance, this is great for doing previs work, right? We obviously have facial tracking, we have full body, we have full finger tracking. So now your projects really come to life with full articulation of everything that you're doing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna toss this over to Alberto, who's our technical director, to explain what we just saw and what the characters were doing in this environment.
Hi everybody. So I'm gonna switch over the screens here so you guys can actually see what's on my screen. Just give me 1 second. Let's do 2 and 3. One second. Alrighty, we'll get that on there. So basically, obviously, this is the Unreal Engine. It's running in real time. This is the same shot that Alex was looking at earlier. You can see Alex is still kind of holding the camera over here. Let me make that a little bigger for you guys. So Alex is moving the camera all around him. He's going to do a big turn all around them so you can see it moving. The actors are moving in real time. And this kind of gives me like an overhead view. As a technical director, I get a lot of opportunities to move the environment around and make some changes around them. During our earlier XR stage demo, we actually showed some like live props activating in real time. So Alex was going over like different scene environments and different scene components that were being activated in real time. So yeah, this scene kind of, this gives me the opportunity to control and assist Alex during the shoot. Beyond that, beyond the Unreal Engine, we have our plugin being shown at its best. So if you see on the left side here, this is our Lifelink Plugin, which is currently available through the website, but will soon be available through the Unreal Marketplace. And this basically is where we control all the data that's coming into the engine to drive the different characters and props. So right now we got Letty's and Sylvana, which are being transferred over from our Access Studio software. And it's being sent over through the engine, and we can see the status of the current models or like the content coming in. These are also the individual props that are coming in. So some of them are specific for Sylvana, some of them are specific for Letty's, and some are just free-floating props that we use with our Access Studio hybrid system. And I can basically assign these props to anything. So if we see the VCam over here, using the plugin, the controller plugin, we can see I've assigned it a specific prop for it, which is pretty great. This also gives us a lot of flexibility if we want to do some like really interesting shots. We can have multiple cameras and kind of switch to the cameras just by simply selecting the prop that each camera controls. And beyond that, you can kind of see the, let me shorten this a little bit smaller. Let me give you guys a little shot of kind of how the background is working for the character. So this is our Fox character, and this is what's kind of driving the character. We have a Lifelink node coming in for our suit. Then we have a Lifelink node coming in for our facial mocap using the Epic Games app for facial mocap. And then this is also a corrective pose that I did here to change the mesh to kind of fit the character. So similar to how the Unreal mannequin comes in an A pose, this Fox character actually came in an A pose. And we start our animation in a T pose. So we want to make sure that we can fix that so that the hands are not inside the body, and we can do some corrective stuff like that. And as well as a height correction here. So overall, this is what's driving the character. You got all the data coming in, being put together, and at the end you get really fancy animation. Let's get a smile. There you go. Cool. Alrighty, so I can switch you guys back to Alex while I switch scenes for our next set.
Awesome, great. Thank you so much, Alberto. I hope that kind of explained a little bit of the background of what we're doing, right? These tools are available for you right now. We're just using the template for the Unreal Engine virtual production. We're adding our hybrid markers. Again, these are available. Shoot us an email. We'll contact you guys to work on the type of projects that you want. No one project is the same. We know no one volume is the same, and we know not one user is the same. So we're here to work with you guys and determine what's best, which products work best, which things are best for you, and what kind of things you want to accomplish. What's really nice, and what we were explaining actually in our earlier session with XR, is that we're able to combine these props and these hybrid markers to a variety of different things, right? We explained that we could actually add this to a robotic arm. What's really nice about adding the features of a robotic arm is now that we can redo a shoot over and over again without having to do different things. We can now use that robotic arm to repeat the same shot, have different performers in different areas, and what's nice is now in an era of social distancing, as we're all trying to be safe, we have the ability to not have someone get sick, right, which we're all trying to avoid. So we can actually have our hybrid markers propped up to anything. In the next scene, again, we're gonna be using that flashlight that I had on the table earlier. We're gonna be adding it onto a simple yoga block, which is gonna be our different prop for this environment. And again, I'm still using it for the same VCam that's here. I'm gonna be able to move around in the same environment, right? So we're gonna go over this shoot. We're gonna highlight some different key features and things that are going on. What you're seeing is available, like I mentioned, right? You can get Perception Neuron Studio now. You can start with the base 17 sensors. You could add on the gloves, and we could add on the hybrid markers later. We're gonna have the ability to add on these things once you have the dongle, right? The dongle is gonna feature different key components. Again, that's gonna be the ability to add time code, the ability to add hybrid tracking for virtual production like we have here, finger spread, and so many different things. It's gonna be really nice to highlight the things that you're seeing. And with that, it makes it really complete, the virtual production setup that you guys have. It's quite incredible. It's super easy to use. The goal for us is to, again, make this accessible. We're aiming for a price point of under $40,000. That means you're gonna get cameras. That means you're gonna get 2 users that are doing full body, gloves, prop tracking, the ability to do that. I think that is completely unheard of in an era where you have to have very expensive hardware. We realize the type of productions that are out there, and using our solution, our Perception Neuron Studio kit, our Perception Neuron Studio hybrid trackers, this open source platform that we're really trying to build for you guys, because we are going to give you the blueprints and templates to start working on your projects. We really want to have this ability where you guys are empowered, right? That's been our mission since the beginning, right? If you've been with us since 2014, you've seen the evolution of our products. You've been with us since Perception Neuron 32, you've seen the growth on PN Pro, and now with PN Studio, we've actually changed everything all over again and re-revolutionized the way that we've looked at the motion capture industry. Alberto's almost done setting up the scene. I can already see that we're in a new environment. I can see that props are there, and we're actually gonna be following the same 2 characters, our fox and character young boy kid here. So once we do that, we're gonna be performing the environment. Again, we're gonna do a few different takes. We're gonna use different lenses. We're gonna talk about what we saw. And then we're at the end of that, we'll kind of recap what we saw here today. We're open for Q&A discussions where you guys can ask us any questions that you have available or whatever is on your mind. You know, we're here to help you. Our team is standing by, you know, almost like a Telegram showcase, right? They're in the back waiting on the hotline. They got the chat open. We have our technical support team. We have our director of technical support, our team in LA. If you have any questions available, we're here for you guys. You know, don't hesitate to ask any questions if there's anything that's confusing, or if you want me to repeat anything, please let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and check with Alberto to see where we are. We're good? Excellent. Awesome. So one thing that happened, unfortunately, is that I lost tracking the wireless connection on my Teradek. That's okay. It doesn't really matter because I actually still am able to see that feed on the screen that I have here. You know, I can still do the shoot. I can still go around back and forth, and I'm still going to frame the shot the way that I need it. As opposed to looking to the Teradek, I'm just going to go ahead and look at the screen or the screen that's actually behind me, which is fine. So that's not a problem, right? I lost the wireless connection. I can still do the shoot I could still plan the things that I have out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and ask my two characters, Sylvana and ladies, may you please pick up your props? Oh wait, it seems, just 1 second. Oh great, they're back there. Yeah, so you guys can go ahead and pick up your props. I have my screen back. It's great, so now I can see everything that's happening again back. I'm streaming back on the Terra deck. That's no problem. Again, I want to reiterate that the dimensions of the characters are not to the same proportions, right? We have two characters that are human size, but they're not to the same scale as the digital characters that they're using, right? So there's going to be a little bit of offset that we have here, but these are things that we're going to be able to fix, and we can kind of refine with either using the same proportions that we have for our characters or just offsetting a little bit more. I just kind of want to highlight these things because these are things that you might experience yourself. So that's not a problem, right? We're just not having the same scale that we have for the performers that are here. For the example of this showcase, I kind of just want to highlight the usability of these props, what they're doing, and again, the performance, right? We're highlighting the full body capture, we're highlighting the finger tracking, and we're highlighting the facial capture, all streaming in real time in Unreal. So we have that view that we have from Ignacio, our cameraman. What I'm gonna have our performers do is I'm gonna have them set up for the starting position. We're gonna pretend that they're in a haunted warehouse, and they're gonna be looking for some ghost, right? It looks like Pablo and the little fox got themselves into a little trouble. They took a wrong turn in the forest and ended up in this scary place. So I'm gonna make sure that I have good camera view. This is gonna be my establishing shot. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, again, say action, and we're gonna see what they do. So 3, 2, 1, action.
So scary here. Do you think that we can find a ghost? You hear that? I hear it. Oh, it's coming from here. Come on. What is that? I hear it. It's close. Did you see? Oh, it's here!
And cut. That was great. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and reset.
That was
Looks like they weren't scared. What I'm gonna do is I can ask Alberto if he can actually change the lens for me. I think we were at an 18. Can we go to a 24? That way we can get a little bit closer on the action. Right, again, we can see our characters. Again, we have that finger articulation, we have that prop tracking, and we have facial expression, right? All driven in real time. Excellent, thank you so much. Now we get to see that our camera angle changed. We're gonna kind of take a different perspective now. And we're gonna go ahead and reset. That's a wave. Perfect, so let's go ahead and begin. I'm gonna go ahead and call action and we can start. So 3, 2, 1, action.
wow. So scary here. You hear that? I hear it. It's coming from here. Do we? Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Oh, it's closer. I hear it too. I hear it. What's happening? Oh, this is scary.
And, and cut. Excellent, thank you so much, ladies. So great, that was a quick performance. We kind of showed you what just happened in that environment, right? We had full body tracking, full environment tracking, movement around. I'm actually gonna ask Alberto to give me the flashlight if he may. I saw he took it over there, right? So we have our flashlight. Yeah, so even as a director, right? We have the ability to do real-time lighting, right? Real-time dynamic lighting. So Alberto's holding the flashlight. As a director, I could even hold this flashlight in front of me, right? So here I am, and I could position this here. And now my camera has lighting, right? So I can light my characters, I can move around, I can shine it on them, and we can choose the different lighting that we have. Alberto could definitely go into more detail on that, but it really shows you the dynamic ability of Unreal, or prop tracking, real-time ability, for everything that you're seeing here. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. I haven't been working out too much. But oh look, we can see a little fox moving around, which is great. But what you're seeing is that real-time environment, right? So Alberto has the flashlight again, and what I kind of want to show now, which is a fun little feature, is I'm gonna have them do some shadow puppets. The only character that has finger tracking right now is a little boy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Alberto shine the light on Pablo, and we can actually see, right? Right? How cool is that, right? So we have a little bit of shadow puppet action, right? This is pretty much a first for Inception, right? We're having real-time tracking in Unreal, we have facial expression, and we have digital puppeteering in real time, which is quite incredible. That's pretty awesome, right? So we have two hands. Again, we have full articulation of both hands moving around, and Letty's can do a lot of different things. So not only do we have the ability to do that real time, look, she's got a little spider. How incredible is that? Oh, that's awesome. We were practicing this earlier and it didn't work. So glad that that's awesome there. So that highlights some of the different functionality that we're seeing inside of our Axis software, right? From our Axis streaming into Unreal. Unreal, we're driving two characters. We have full body, full finger, full facial articulation in real time, as well as prop tracking using our hybrid markers. Again, if you guys haven't noticed, right, we're not just doing inertial data, right? We have this hybrid marker. And what's important with this is that we don't lose that data, right? If any of these optical markers on top of the head or these hybrid markers get occluded, right, those individual balls, you have that backed up data from the inertial sensor that's embedded in there to correct for that, right? So you have some leeway. So as opposed to using a pure optical solution, you don't have to worry about loss of data. That being said, I'm gonna just quickly pass this off to Alberto as this ends kind of like this portion of the demonstration, and he could kind of just wrap up the Unreal scene that we were able to see. And then from there, I'll kind of like wrap up what we saw, and we'll be able to open up the floor from some Q&A, answer some questions that you guys have, and kind of wrap up and to be available in the chat afterwards if you guys have any additional questions.
All right, guys, welcome back. We're gonna put a picture up in 1 second. There we go. All right. So once again, back in Unreal, same exact project, just a little bit different scene. Same data coming in, we still have the same props, XR from the face capture. And let's give it a little bit of full screen here. All right, so again, different scene, a little bit more control here. You can see the different props moving around. So the camera has been placed on the floor, so you can see the camera's just kind of chilling there. And then you can see Alex walking around with the flashlight pointing at our actors. And again, if proportions are correct with the characters, you should see 1-to-1 ratio when it comes to the models and everything. So you can have a lot of opportunities when it comes to simulations and things like that. Particularly with cartoon characters, all these things are correctable through the animation and animation blueprints and a lot of editing within the Unreal Engine itself. But the fact is that you're getting extremely accurate object-based tracking using the hybrid props. So definitely a great tool to have. Just moving around here, make it a little bit easier to see. And then if we can show those puppets again one more time, it'd be really cool. Yep. Letty, see if you could do some shadow puppets. There you go. Alex, just aim the camera the other direction. Yeah, there you go. Keep going. A little lower the camera there. Awesome. You can see it up in the ceiling there. Ooh, fancy. So again, between the integration with our Perception Neuron Studio system and Unreal, we look to a really exciting future when it comes to all these object-based tracking and all the possibilities we have. We have a few experiments going on with virtual production in a general context, as well as pre-visualizations and final pixel productions as well. So it's really exciting to see the potential that we have here and the future. We have full body tracking as well as props.
Yeah, maybe I can add something.
Yep.
I think also this is a great example of doing this on on a budget. We're building this with a very affordable set of equipment, not some high-end multi-million-dollar budget. This is all done with the cameras are probably the most expensive things in here. We're using iPhones for the facial tracking. We do have nice cameras because we're also a broadcast studio over here, but it's nothing special. You see our green screens. We eventually will paint this area green, but right now we're just using a regular green screen that from Amazon. So this is really showing you that how incredible we can produce. Somebody could potentially produce a cartoon or some very unique content just using a very small amount of investment to create something incredible. And again, we've just scratched the surface on this, and it's already quite impressive, and really giving all of the people out there that have the talent, the canvas to build some unique projects. We can pass it on to Alex.
Awesome. Thank you, Alberto, and thank you, Rock. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. I'm just going to go ahead and go over again what components we used for today. We're using our Perception Neuron Studio kit, available now. We're using our Perception Neuron Studio gloves, again, available now. Full kit, base package with everything that you're going to get is $7,500 US. Our software is free. You can download it on our website now. We also have our SDKs and plugins available for free. We work with third-party providers like Reallusion. We work with a multitude of different providers as well. You can go to our website, kind of see which plugins and different software you want to work with. So we're really excited, again, like Alberto was saying, about the different capabilities and where we see the future of virtual production going. We really feel like the tool set that we're giving you is going to let you go and create the projects of the future. Like Rock said, this is for everyone who's working on a real budget. It's not necessarily just people that have been budget conscious, but it's really giving you guys the tool set to now create projects that are out of this world. So we used our Perception Neuron Studio kit. We used our hybrid markers, that are brand new. We feel like this is a real revolution into the market for motion capture. We had facial tracking with custom-made head-mounted camera displays, and we had our props that were being tracked in real time. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to ask us in the chat, send us an email. We're available for any meetings that you guys have to answer any inquiries or go more in depth into Perception Neuron Studio and the hybrid capabilities that we have on. Tomorrow, we'll continue on with our sessions on the last day of the virtual part of SIGGRAPH, starting at noon tomorrow, where we'll be covering, again, the motion capture in XR, followed by a 6 p.m. session like we just had here, which covers virtual production. We'll be posting some different videos online that will be highlighting these things. So feel free to give us a shout out, a follow on social media. We're trying to do amazing things. We love to hear about the projects that you guys have. And we also want to work with you guys as much as possible. So with that being said, thank you for joining us today. From all of us here at Noitom, stay safe.